Hello, good afternoon. What's up out there? And greetings in every so many ways. Uh, I saw something. The big issue with Deion Sanders, uh, and him coaching going to Colorado. And I'm gonna put my chime in, and I'm gonna show you this video, and I'm gonna put my chime in, and tell you how I feel. But first of all, before I start the video, let me tell you the good thing what Deion did down there at Jackson State. He he taught the young men how to do business. He brought some attention to the stadium. He got the stadium up and running. He was able to compete and get the best recruits that was in football, college football, and recruit the best high school, and they wanted to play for him. He made some other, of course, he made some other competitors mad in 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 the HBCU world and mainstream college, because he was able to put them up to the point that he wanted them to put the HBCUs in a league with the big boys, the Big Tens and the Big 12s. Uh, One of the things about it, in the same time, the man suffered. He lost two of his toes. He had to push through that. What is his background? Well, he's a Hall of Famer. He's probably been. I think he's been to the Super Bowl a couple times. He's an MVP. When he was in his prime time, he did two sports. Deion Sanders did two sports. Not only that, after he did all those things, he played baseball, turned back around, and come and go to the NFL and play a couple downs for numerous teams. He knows about business, from a sport agent, how to do a contract with sports teams. So he's probably giving the young men good game on what it take to get to that competitiveness. He taught them how to be professionals. Because he took all that whatever they were doing down there and make them more presentable and more professional as players. And he got the thing. And then you have not just black players, but you had some other non-black players that wanted to come and play for him. And he did. He like I said, he got the best of the best out there. And so he never cheated on his wife. He's a family man. You got a smart and bright, intelligent son. You got a beautiful wife, and you got some. And so here comes the hang up about some people. They try and say that he sold out. He sold out, but they don't tell you that, from his own word, he got robbed. There was someone that murdered on the campus. There was some. Then part of the contract was, since he brought it was with the school, was that he gets a certain percentage of the ticket sales. And what she couldn't figure out what was going on, because he was seated, the stadium was packing out. But Jackson State wasn't doing their part. Jackson State had something, and it only has something very special, and he's putting them, because he's been in the spotlight. This man left the spotlight because after he retired, he goes and gets on major news television like CBS and Football Today. He knows everything behind the scene, and I'm gonna come down on this. They didn't appreciate that. They didn't appreciate it. That he brought so you call him, and you got black folks out there calling him a sellout, but he left the gesture. He was doing what Shannon Sharp, Skip Bayless, and other people were doing. Talk about NFL, and he's gonna make good money doing something like that. But it was in his heart to go back to HBCU, a historically black college, and try to saw that the program was failing to get them up to par. And then it will that school would affect them and then affect the community. He brought awareness. And it's sad, you got black people coming at him like this. And instead of looking at what he gave up. Now anybody know Shannon Sharp, he's from the South, he's a pro bowler and a Super Bowl contender. He ain't coming off the desk. Skip and Bayless, he's not coming off. And there's certain ones. But it takes a certain type of man that won't go back and help his people. And he did that. And he taught them young men on how to be professional at the HBCU level. Because he saw that there's a lot of talent among 70% of black players in HBCUs. And it was getting no recognition. Majority of them. And so he brought attention to that. Now you got some black players that came out of HBCUs, but not too many ever. Only Doug Williams and then maybe a couple other people that went back and taught at HBCUs that were NFL players. So they competed at the college level, they competed at the professional level. Then they they give you insight on the business on how to, when you get to that level, how to maintain your professionalism in sport. This is what Deion was doing. He was trying to get people to see, but some people don't. They don't see that, so they're gonna attack him and call him a sellout. And then I was hearing what one commentator was saying about how this pastor almost wished bad things on this man. So he built up his resume, and people took notice because they probably thought he was some kind of a joke. The white colleges probably did. They just said, "Oh, he's just a show off." But he did. But when they saw what he did down at Jackson State and brought them to the best of the best and made them undefeated, that caught contender. He brought them within 2 years, within 2.5 years, to a championship level at an HBCU college. See, some people don't want that, but I'm gonna make this this video, and I'm about to go in and let you hear this video. And you call him a sellout, but yet he got his car broke, he got his stuff broken. They broke in stuff off of him. His son's vehicle got broken into. And you want them to stay around some crazy stuff like that. And then they didn't want to work with him as far as the agreement. They had a contract with what he was supposed to get when a certain percentage of the games. He said that himself when you look at a couple of the reports. But nobody don't want to talk about that. But that man lost half of his foot, and you're going to call him a sellout. And I mean, and it's sad the thing I said, some black folks are they're a trip. I mean, some people are just a trip, and some of our people are just a trip. I'm just gonna say what it is. I mean, it's damn if you do, damn if you don't. You got a black family, because you got some black people who say, he going around, he chases some white women. So when you know how the black players is, they go get him a white woman. His wife is black, his kids is black. So you can't throw that argument up at him. I mean, no, you got some people that simple that say stuff that some of the stuff that they say. Some people gonna hear this video gonna think, man, that's ridiculous. I know some people are insecure about that shit. But he done what he can do, and he's getting condemned and harassed over something. Here it is. Hear this video. But I mean, he did what he can do, and you're not satisfied. And he was an upstanding black man to come out of the desk, making millions on the network, they come to have compassion and felt a calling to go help these boys because they wasn't graduating probably at a high level. They would it's not just football but their academic career. Most coaches don't care about your kid's academic career. He taught them as a black man how a young black man can be professional. You don't find too many people that do that. Colleges, they don't give a crap. They use you. They use some of these athletes and keep on going. You're disposable. They don't give a shit about you. Some of these coaches.
Is it ethical to take free money from the government?
Some of them.
A lot of small businesses are grappling with this question as they learn about the ERC program, which lets small business owners get up to $26,000 for each.
The last 72 hours have been very interesting, especially in the black sector of social media. We've been getting back into some of the historical debates that we've had in the black community for the last 60 to 70 years, even before that. And that is, why are talented African Americans leaving the black community, going to greater America, and not building resources in the community they come from? This same conversation can be matched with the African brain drain, which is pretty much the same problem that's hurting the black world all over. If you talk about black America, you talk about the Nigerians, you talk about Ugandans, Kenyans. Why are talented Africans or blacks leaving and never coming back, building in their own respective communities? And this conversation has been ignited by Deion Sanders, the legendary NFL cornerback and current head coach of Jackson State University, taking the job at University of Colorado. Now, at Jackson State, he was making around $300,000 a year. And not only was he making just that small amount of money, there was a hard time with some of the funding for the school. The staff didn't have a lot of things. Jackson, Mississippi had a water problem. And oh, by the way, Deion Sanders, in his office and car, there were multiple break-ins. His son, the quarterback, multiple break-ins. So Jackson State is in the hood, right? So you're facing all of that adversity. Now, let's talk about University of Colorado. $5 million a year. It's a big difference than $300,000 a year, like almost by 1,600%. You have a private jet. You're in Boulder, Colorado, which is one of the most affluent cities in America. Life's looking good. But Deion Sanders has been criticized. And if we can look at some of the comments that are maybe going by right now, you can read some of them. I'm not going to read them now, but you can see the disdain that a lot of African Americans have for Mr. Deion Sanders because he's not staying. He's going. He's leaving the black world to go work for whites, and he's not building up the black community. But I want to talk about somebody that has passed away, but his work, to me, is very legendary. That is the Ghanaian economist George Ayete. Now, George Ayete wrote several books, but one of the things that he talked about a lot, besides defeating African dictators, was how socialism ruined Africa, which is one of my favorite topics I like to check out all the time. And embedded in the socialism ruining Africa talk was the lack of private enterprise that Africans failed to create to basically uplift the private sector to bring more development into Africa and then get more investment in, right? And a lot of that has to do with bad governmental policies. Now, I'm not calling out any African country at this time by name, but if you can look at countries in Africa, one of the problems that they have is a lack of foreign investment. But in this particular clip, I want to talk about something that is relative to Black America, and that is he's going to talk about domestic investment. That means people from that respective country refusing to invest in their own communities. Now I'm going to play this particular clip, and then we're going to come right back.
Because the judiciary systems that we have in Africa are not independent. The third requirement is you must have some basic functioning infrastructure in Africa. The electricity system must work, the water supply system must be reliable, the road system must also work. But infrastructure in many African countries have simply crumbled because of neglect. Number four, you need to have some basic freedoms of economic freedom, political freedom, and intellectual freedom. Intellectual freedom and free flow of information is very critical to business people and investors. But African governments want to control the media and flow of information. Why? Because when they're doing bad, they don't want their people to know. Number five, you need to have some basic stability. You need to have economic stability, political stability, and social stability. Nobody is going to invest in a country which is racked by chaos and instability. You need to have that kind of stability has eluded many African countries. And finally, you need to have some basic system of incentives. By incentives, we mean that all of us, we want to have nice cars, nice houses, and so forth, etc., etc. Right? But in every society must make a rule. And that rule is those who get ahead are those who become successful or rich. It is not like this in Africa. If you want to be rich, you enter into politics in Africa. Because the richest people are the heads of state, the crooks, the ministers, and so forth. Right? So the system of incentives that we have in Africa is completely distorted. Those who sing praises to the governments or to the despots in power are those who are made ambassadors and ministers. Right? And we have to replace the system, sycophancy, for example, with a system which rewards hard work and initiative. If we can have this, the rule of law, property rights, and so forth, stability and so forth, then we'll be able to create the enabling environment which would attract investment. And even outside, I forget about the foreign investors, concentrate more on domestic investment. Because if Nigerians themselves are not investing in their own countries, why should Americans? Do Americans know something which Nigerians do not know? And why would Americans invest in Nigeria when the Nigerian heads of state and ministers are taking their money out of the country? It is the same like in Russia, for example. Capital flight out of Russia is almost 50 billion. And why would anybody invest in a company when those inside the company are taking their money out? So we need to create an enabling environment. And that enabling environment requires property rights, security of persons and property, some basic functioning infrastructure, basic freedoms, and so forth. But the mafia states that we have in Africa are not interested.
So, you heard what George Ayede had to say. Now, you're probably going to think, what does that have to do with Black America? He's talking about Nigeria in this clip. But look at the whole idea. He's talking about...
It's true. If you're an IT professional, we'll show you how to make $250K a year, 100% guaranteed.
But look at the whole idea. He's talking about, first of all, governmental policies have made it, the wrong business environment for investments to happen, period. Meaning that there is no investment going on anywhere. Small pockets, but not a lot. Alright? But he says something particular that I like. If Nigerians won't invest in their own country, why should they? And they means foreign investment. Why should foreign investment come in to a country if the people in the country don't trust their own ability to invest and build up their own nation when they have the ability to do it? Now, you're still not getting it right, I get it. But you people out there who feel so bad about Deion Sanders leaving for the University of Colorado, my question is to you. Where is your investment in Black America? Here's where we get crickets. Okay? Here's the problem that we have in the Black world. Africa, Black America, the Caribbean, we expect other people to do the same things that we will never do. That's right. That's what we expect to do. We sit, we call it Monday morning quarterbacks. The people who sit back on their ass all the time and they give their opinions but they never achieve anything. That's many of y'all because y'all talk real bad about Deion Sanders, but where are you when it comes to supporting Black business? business.
Right.
You're nowhere to be found, are you? No.
He's right.
When it comes to promoting anything that's black, you're not there.
Right.
You even own anything in the black community or Africa or anything? Nothing. You don't promote anything. And by the way, you can't talk about me, stop the show, because I got the Pan African Dating Show. Make sure you go over there and subscribe, hit the bell. But all my money derived from the black community, and I'm a black entrepreneur. That's all I do. I deal with the people that look like me for a reason. Now, everybody's not going to be like me. Somebody like Deion Sanders, he came from the NFL, he has talent. I'm not going to say he's too big or too good to stay at Jackson State. It would be nice. But again, we won't pay him. The black community could come together and make a fund to keep somebody like Deion Sanders, and we have the money to do it, we just won't. But we get mad when they go away. But you won't even invest into your own community.
True.
So why should Deion Sanders?
Right.
Are you going to pay for the security guards that break into his car?
Right.
When he's trying to help our young men become better men?
Exactly.
Or will you sit there and Monday morning quarterback because it's not your car being broken into, is it? No, it's not.
Right.
It's not your car being broken into. It's somebody else's car being broken into.
Right.
When his kids don't feel safe, his girlfriend or wife doesn't feel safe because he's being targeted? No. The good people of Jackson, Mississippi, obviously many of them are appreciative of Deion Sanders, and so are the players and the staff. But you do have your Pookies and Ray Ray classes that y'all won't even live next to because you live in the middle class neighborhood. You live in the upper middle class neighborhood. But you're sitting back talking about it's not about the money. What about your money?
Exactly.
Do you put money towards the black community to see things you want to see? Or do you just talk?
Right.
Because for me, I live what I'm talking about. I'm all across the black world.
Exactly.
If it's not here, if it's not Rwanda, if it's not Nigeria, if it's not Black America, I spend my money and support people with what I'm talking about. I live this lifestyle. But do you? And that is the problem. You want to invest in the black world, but you expect others to do what you will not. Which is why we don't have anything. So when black talent comes in and then they leave, don't get mad because they left. Be mad because you left. Now, I know what you guys are going to say. Well, O'Shea, you went to Poland to go to medical school because that's the medical school that I got into. Sorry, I wasn't always the most brightest kid in the world. I couldn't get into Meharry. I tried to, but I finished nonetheless. And what did I do when I came? When I finished, I decided to pursue my career in that, and I wanted to become a black entrepreneur. And that's what I focus on. But what about you? All of you left. None of you own black businesses. None of you own black equipment. All of you that pretty much talk about Deion Sanders, you work for white people. Nothing is wrong with that. But you wouldn't even come to Jackson State to build the program. But you're the biggest ones talking about it. When the person that signs your check ain't a black person. And this is the sort of hypocrisy that we got to get away
I
from.
agree with that one.
If you want to see something in Black America done or in Africa done, how about you shut up and you go do it yourself?
Exactly.
Stop asking people to make sacrifices that you won't make.
Exactly.
That's why we have failing black cities. Baltimore. You want to know why? You don't get black investment into Baltimore.
Right.
Detroit. No, don't get me wrong. Detroit in certain cities like Baltimore had a big manufacturing hub or car hub, and I get it. Many enterprises had businesses there. But where were the black businesses? Because 50% of all jobs are created by small businesses in America.
Right.
Small and medium enterprises. Where are the black businesses that sustained it? They're not there. Want to know why? Because you didn't build them.
Right.
You didn't build them.
Right.
So we don't have it.
Right.
Black private schools, want to know why we don't have it? You didn't build it.
Right.
With your $1.6 trillion spending power.
Right.
Okay? Why some of our black colleges closed down? Morris Brown, anybody in Atlanta? You didn't donate to it. That's why we don't have it. Simple as that. And we got to get away from the culture of complainers and listen to who the people that are actually doing the work. And typically the people who do the work don't talk as much.
Right.
And I know this is going to be scathing to some of you, but it's the same problem we have in all the black world. Africa, the Caribbean, and especially North American blacks. We talk a lot, we're not saying nothing.
Right.
And that's why I don't begrudge Deion Sanders for making that decision.
That's true.
Because everybody else does it.
That's
You just
true.
expect him to do it because he already has money,
That's
because he's already worked hard and used his talent to keep working hard doing what he's doing.
Right.
He should always be forced to give back to the black community when you don't, and
Exactly.
you won't. But But you want to be somebody special, that somebody should listen to you when you don't do anything for our people at all?
Right.
You need to shut your mouth. That's what you need to do. And that's anybody in the black world. You have a problem with it, it's okay. But what do you do for your people every day?
Exactly.
I don't care where you're from. If you're Ugandan, if you're from Nigeria, if you're from Jamaica, and you criticize others for taking their talents away, you can at least do something.
Right.
What do you do? Even if you don't have what he has, you can do something.
Right.
You can volunteer. You can do at least something.
And let me say, you from Cleveland, you from Baltimore, you from Atlanta, you from Miami, you from Dallas, you from Houston, you from Kansas. It's the same thing. And if you black, that should apply to you too. And it shouldn't matter if the black folks on the east side of town, the west side of town, the north side of town, the south side of town, is that if you're going to think collective, think as a collective. Stop making division based on that too. Some of you won't even talk to, some of you folks won't even talk to someone on the same side of the town. You know, let's keep this real all the way. Let's keep this real all the way. There's some black people that won't even do something like that. And think about what Deion did. I mean, he could have stayed at CBS and make millions and trillions of dollars. I mean, because he's been on air. Everybody across the country and around the world knew who he is. But he felt in his heart to leave that to come and teach at an HBCU school. And he did what he obligated to do, paying $300,000, like he said, $300,000. This guy was a superstar, and he was on TV. And he left that, and you gonna call him a sellout? You gonna call that man a sellout? And he had health problems. He almost lost his foot. On top of that, off of what he was saying about his stuff breaking into his son's car breaking into. You wouldn't stay in an area like that, and that's the truth. I mean, some people want to get the heck up out of there. You got some people that don't have respect for other black people in the hood. You got some of the young people shoot up a doggone house and hit some young elderly person, some younger person. But we don't want to talk about that. But it's the truth. Would you want to stay around some stuff like that? Hell no. So why you put guilt shame on him? Who really want to destroy it? It's the ones that do stuff like that, takes off at somebody that put their hard-earned money into it, and then some other Negro wants to take it out of your house. You went out there and you bust your ass out on the job, and you enjoy something that you worked hard for, and people see that you got it because they got their eyes on you. Then they start thinking that, oh, he think he better, and then come and breaking your dog on house or your car, and you ain't got much is that they do. You just working a little above like most people do, and that's the mentality of some people, and that's probably what he saw down there in Mississippi. Because like any other city, any other state, any other place in the United States, and for him to make aware of, shed light with the water situation. See, people don't consider all that. It put a bigger spotlight on that. It was already spotlight on it, but it was a bigger spotlight. He used the star power, people. He used the star power to shed light on that. And you call him a sellout? No, maybe you need to recheck yourself. And then you have, and then they looking for him to fail. It's a business. And like I was watching the video when he was telling the young players, it's a business. And like any other college coach, if you don't meet at a certain time, they're gonna fire you. And if they don't qualify you, there was people like your other coaches that transferred. There's other coaches that transferred. But it's the same thing. I would tell you, the University of Cincinnati, Luke Fickell, did the same thing. I mean, Cincinnati was good, but they wanted to keep up that championship run. But he pushed them over to the top, and even though that's a separate division, but University of Cincinnati Bearcats, he did what can do, and no one's calling him a sellout. It was his time, but for some reason, he just felt like, okay, they ain't gonna honor the contract and pay you more money. Like, no, we can't pay you the money. It's a business. He got the staff. He done what he can do. Now another program come along and offer you some more money. And he's a white guy. Lou Fickell's a white guy. And he did the same thing as Deion Sanders. So I'm just pointing that out. It's a business. And one thing some black folks don't understand is business is business. It's business. And sometimes when you do, and then other people mistreat you, and that's here in America that mistreat you when it comes to business. When you going into their business and you don't like the way they treat you, and you don't like the way, but when some black person, okay, let's take our resource, do our own. Let's do our own thing. Okay, you don't have to deal with their prejudice. You have to deal with their racism. Black people only get behind and do that. They won't even do that. Pick it back off what he's saying. O'Shea's saying. You won't even do that. And you saw somebody mistreat an innocent black person in a business. And you won't even support that black business. Knowing that you get discriminate, but you want to bitch and moan about it. But when it comes in that black business, just like that white, that Asian, Hispanic, or whatever other business, they need money too. They just can't be cutting you a deal and do little or nothing for free. And some of them giving you, and then especially if they try to give you the quality of work that they're doing. Now I understand some people don't get up to quality of things, but then again, other people might do. Some of the other people do the same thing, but we don't. We keep going back to them even when they don't give the quality. Whether it's you go into the convenience stores, you go into the other businesses, and you still pay for that day old 2 or 3 day old bread, that's inspired milk, candy's probably been on the shelf. But when a black and you won't tell that to one of the owners that come from a secondary country, but you still go and shop in them. But when a black person owns something, that probably try to bring the best of the best, it's a different story. Why is that? When business is business, whether it's a black person doing it or a white person doing it, or a foreign person doing it, business is business. But you'll talk about that person. Some of you will talk about and belittle a person, and that's the reason why some black people don't have what they have. You your own worst enemy. And you need to get behind and support something, and get behind the people that, like the future people like Deion Sanders, and appreciate what they've done, and pay them what they need to be paid. People need to be paid. People need to survive. And that university was making good money. They was making some darn good money off of that. But he knew that. Deion was pretty smart to know that. And like I said, he brought awareness. He had them upgrade the stadium, upgrade the equipment. He did some things that, and I saw what he said on TV. He did all these things for it. So how does he sell out? How is he a sellout? When no other black NFL players, not too many, are going to come off the bench and go teach at a black university. They want to be a part of that elitism. They want to sit behind the desk and be bougie. Deion ain't being bougie. So why you calling him a sellout? I'm just saying, who's really the sellout? And the bougie people trying to come on in and making these comments, but they won't even come around black folks. You got some bougie black people who don't come around black folk. They own black people. That's true. They stay out in the main community, and that's all over the country, all over. Like O'Shea was saying, don't 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 do this. You know, some people, come on. If you want to keep it real, let's keep it real. And the reason why I made that comment, because when every time someone make that, you got people that make a video about, you know, what his family look like. That he got a black son, how dark his black wife is. You got black folks like that. So if it's if he had a highlighted black woman, they make us, oh, she ain't black enough. You got some black people who are mentally slave here in the state. I'm telling you, you should see some. Like, I can't believe you put that on. You put it on a world stage, and some people are insecure. As at least you got a black son, you got a black wife, and if his first of his kids, they got a second black wife, because you know how some people are. Oh, when a black man get his money, he go over and get him a white another woman. But Deion didn't do that. Deion got a white woman, because you got some black people will go in that direction, because that's what they do. Some of us do that shit and put that guilt shame on for doing something like that. You know, he had another black woman, so because you got some black women look at that, you know, and some black men too. It is crazy. But you know, I'm happy for the man. Man, that man been through a lot. Man almost lost his foot, almost lost his life. And then he was able to get back, able to walk again, to coach his team to a championship game. That man been through a lot. And for he to do that, and whether you like his personality, and the way he's standing, he's confident in himself, he know what he's doing. He know about the business. He knows about what it takes to be a professional football player, and know how to handle your business, how to handle your contract. So he's teaching those young players that too. That's why he had them to present themselves a certain way when they go in front of these people, the mainstream people. See, you didn't consider about that, did you? Some of you were criticizing Deion. You didn't crit, and you like I said, you talk about a guy who is probably a Super. I think he's been to the Super Bowl a couple times. A Hall of Famer, two sport. They've been in the World Series. No, I think he was in the World Series league. So he accomplished things. Most people don't do that. And Jackson State don't realize, and he gave all that up. He could have stayed up there in the spotlight. Could have given part of his revenue with money of getting the ticket sales. I mean, and y'all and see, you guys don't even, and some of you guys don't even know that. And the reason, but to call that man that's crazy. And to do, it was amazing what he did. To take a football program and take them to the championship level. That's within 2 years. It takes time to do something like that with any team. But yeah, you know, let's not go there, please. And like I said, none of these people and none of these sportscasters, they ain't gonna come. Ain't like I say, ain't no Shannon Sharp, ain't too many the ones that went to the Super Bowl, ain't gonna come back and teach no black college. It'd be nice. It could be someone like Jerry Rice. But when they get their bag, you know, yeah, it was nice, but they ain't going back down into the hood. They out there in California, New York somewhere. See, you should be thankful, because you know how some people get. They like, screw y'all, man. I ain't going back down. Go to some place like Jackson, Mississippi, where is a high poverty rate, and go to the college and try to bring attention down there, because every university, every small town built up the big economy around the university. See, it's a business. His name brought awareness. It's like some well athlete. That's what they did. That's like one time a lot of people don't like LeBron James, but when LeBron James came back to Cleveland, the business, it was business that sprung off of that. There were people that were able to hire more employees in the restaurants and hotels and stuff. They don't tell you about that. They don't tell you about, oh, he's just a dead whiner, but he's a world athlete. So that world athlete come to play in your city that attract thousands and thousands of people. I'm getting you to see things also from a business side. So all the businesses is making up because they seeing all these people coming to see this coach, like with Deion, the same way they was doing with LeBron. That's why, and they knew that, and he come back to Cleveland because his heart was in Cleveland at one time, but that was between him and the owner. Some things wasn't working out, so he jet out to Los Angeles. But before he went out to after he went down, he went to Cleveland, went down and played for Miami, because Miami was already doing good down there, but it boosted up a little bit. But Cleveland, Ohio needed a little boost, and financially. See, I said that's what sports does. So by him being, he got popular, got big, that drew the crowd, that boosts the economy, that boosts business. Well, it's the same way with Deion. It most likely did the same thing, and so they want to come because you in the spotlight. That comes down there, and it brings more business. You understand what I'm saying? That's how you have to look at it. So I think some of the people appreciated him down there, like he said, the players and some of the staff. But when it came to other issues, like he said, the Pookies and the Ray Rays kind of made it hard for him to want to stay. And I don't blame Deion for it. I wouldn't want to stay around something like that either. Someone breaking in your house, breaking in your car. Who would want to go through something like that? Because some ignorant, lazy ass, incompetent individual don't want to get out there and get a job and want to take off with somebody trying to make some easy money by breaking your stuff and taking something you work hard for. That they didn't go out there because they want to make some fast, easy money. Just like anywhere else around. But I just wanted to make a video and saying some people didn't realize the sacrifice he did. He sacrificed his health. He lost some toes. You know how painful it is to get your toes amputated? Almost lose your foot. Don't know you're going to halfway walk again. But he's a sellout though, right? And stayed there through all that. It's a shame. Some of your own people don't even appreciate you until it's done, till it's gone. And my friend would say, "Can you believe?" I said, "Wait a minute, John. Whoa, you need to know the whole side of the story to this." But I would have did the same thing if I was in his shoes. But someone like Charles Barkley ain't coming to no black university. You see how he is. I mean, even that's for basketball. And you can tell it with certain ones. Shaquille O'Neal, he ain't coming, let's say for basketball, he wouldn't go back in a black university and coach. He's good with being up there. They're good being up there with their elite, critiquing people like Deion and Kyrie and different individuals. That's a fact. If you're going to say, they're the ones that don't want to ever come back. And they sit back in their high chairs. And whatever the puppet master tell them to do. They don't have a heart like Deion have a godly heart to do that. You didn't see his godly heart? Sometimes people really gotta think about things before you judge people. and assume people before you so quick to put things out on it about somebody. You need to get to hear the other side of the story. Like, at least understand, why did this person do that before you just go on and just jump on something. Get, like, like some people do, get the whole facts before you go. It's like some black men recently, I was listening to this, that want to travel, and they was able to make enough money to travel and sustain an income. And you got other black men and women here critiquing that, but the same type of black women here wouldn't give them a time of day when they was at the beginning of their steps, because they didn't appease to their Cadillac mindset. So they want to critique them, and they said, well, you got to be at my certain level in order for me to respect you and submit to you. So this is well, so they get critiqued for that. So they say, okay, I'll go find another woman in some part of the world that would appreciate me with my 3-figure income, 4-figure income, my past, that I can be able to take care of her and myself on that standard, and they would take care of myself. But you have, and that's the reason why. And then you have men and women critiquing that, but we don't know the sacrifice they did to make that money. And I'm talking about the passport bros. We don't know what they did. Maybe they did, but just because they want to be happy and want to make successful, you got other black people trying to criticize, say, hey, and giving games, say, I can teach you how to make your money, and you can be a passport bro like other people. But you got other, and even if women could take some advice on how to make passive income. But you got other men hating on other men because they choose to do what they choose to see some part of the world and see what life is like on another part of the planet, and they get critiqued. And then when they see somebody over there that they love and they like, they get critiqued, saying, why you gotta do something like that? Why you don't have to tell everybody what you're doing, but other ethnic groups of people been doing it, and maybe these guys at one time, but even they know their own people. They know, so it's like, let me go someplace and broaden my international business, because majority go there for business, not just for the women, but the women have to be over there and appreciate them more, and willing to do what some women here won't do. Not all, but some women here won't give you that type of respect. They want to switch it on you over here and make you submit up under them, because of, and they don't want to take their rightful shit as being that the helpmate. They want to be the dominance. So the men pick up and leave. Can you blame them? Then you got women that get mad and get insecure and say, I don't know why these guys are going over there, and then getting in the indoors, but they never been outside the country. They go by with some second mainstream media that try to paint the picture, show you what they show you, but you don't get it from the horse's mouth itself. See, what I'm saying, people, is watch before you present something. At least learn to listen to people, or find out for yourself before you put something out there. And so it comes back to in the same thing. I didn't make it seem like a black and white situation, but this was something that they're dealing with the same, and we already as black men going through something. And if you think as a black people, we're going through things as a people, but the biggest fight ain't other people. the biggest fight is dealing with the slave-minded black people here in different parts of the world, like O'Shea Duke Jackson was saying. That's the biggest obstacle. Sometimes, and it's true, it ain't always the white man or the other man. It's your brother man, so-called brother man, up under the skin that got the same doggone problem because you choose to take a different route and things didn't work out for him. So he got this Cain and Abel mentality towards you. And same way with women, black women. You have other black women hate on other black women. Look what happened to the young lady down in Mexico. She was a businesswoman. And it wasn't somebody in Mexico who set it up. It was somebody from here who murdered her in Mexico because she was doing better for herself. That's sad. You know what I'm talking about? The young woman in Mexico. She was a businesswoman. The young lady, let me show you a picture.
Grandpa, will this be our Christmas tree?
Someday. Come on, Kate. Really? Look how big it's gotten. That's great.
Listen, we have groundbreaking new information in
this
the
young lady.
Paula Robinson case. I will get right to the point. Have you ever heard of provisional arrest and how it operates in extradition to foreign countries? If you haven't, you need to sit down, have a seat, and let's get into it. You guys, this is a fact-heavy video. I went straight to the Department of Justice, the Office of International Affairs, the OAI. I went into their agent training manual.
I'm gonna show, but that was her. That was the woman right there. The woman in this picture. Her friend set her up. Beautiful young lady set up. She was a smart and college graduate, and she had a business going on. And you had people that set her up, got jealousy, and they wait till she got down there. They jumped on her and snapped her neck and broke her spine. These are the black people. And see, you're killing your own people. You're killing your visionaries. Who knows what she could have done. But they got mad because they saw that she got money. She was making good money. And set her up because they were jealous because she was beautiful and she was successful. So this was a black woman, young black woman that they snapped her neck. But see, this the reason why I bring this up is because she of jealousy. We you got some people so jealous. The jealousy among our people is outrageous to the point that we'll kill each other over something. No matter as a black man or a black woman, over something that she worked hard to get a business. She worked on her way of trying to become a millionaire, and they snapped her neck, set her up, want to fight her, because you got low frequency people dealing with some of your own people. And you see why some black people want to leave and go other places that's from America and live in other countries and shit. Not saying that you won't have no problems over there, but in that country, depends on what country you go to. But dang, she never got a chance to develop her business and live long enough. She was 25 years old. And these other women, sister women, black women, beat her up. All because of jealousy. Well, I'm saying the reason why I put it's the same way why she got murdered, but sometimes you can't even live around your own people. That's basically what I'm saying. to tie this video up, you can't even live around your own people, your own black people in America. That's why I brought her up behind this Deion, because Deion tried to help his own people, and some of his own people didn't. It's called him a sellout. After someone took something that he worked hard for. Thank God he no one that get hurt in his family. But look what happened to the young woman. Who is the real sellout? The murder. Someone take your stuff. What happened to Deion? And who's the real sellout? Who put this woman, broke her step and she died? Who's the real sellout? Who's the real sellout? You black folks are saying that. Who's the real sellout? So quick to say, call somebody a coon. Who's really a coon? Think about it. Who is the coon? Because somebody want to go do something better and maybe come back, do what a Deion did, come back and pull up the others. And you can't come back and pull out other people because you got people that won't even give you time to come back and help out your own people that try to rob you and kill you. Look at some of the rappers. Who's doing the killing? Is it the other races of people? Or is it your own people? But you're proud to be black, right? Some people got a funny way of showing it. And usually 9 chances of 10, we got to come with the reality. It's another black person that's going to take your life. It's another black person that's going to literally, take your life or take whatever's out of your home. Can't always point at another man when it's your own one that's supposed to be your brother man or your sister. And that's something that we don't like to talk about. And that's why certain individuals like O'Shea was bringing out. He said, I do what I back up what he back up what he said. And there's another couple other people that show you what's going on. But they'll probably be so jealous at him. See, check. So the ones that is speaking against it, you need to check your heart. Who's really the sellout? And someone say, hey, and if you really, maybe he would take the time out with you and show you the game. Because they're the real people proud to be black. It's the ones that try to come back and help their people. But it's some of your own people that hate that because you've been out over that mainstream. And it's almost like an animal being touched by a human, and your people resent you for that. Another like a baby animal, and the mother animal know that you've been touched by humans. Now they got disown you, put you out. That's how people are. Real talk. Black people, some black people the same way. Because you've been around the people, got some skills, some knowledge, go back, feel compelled to come back, help your people, and they dog you, calling you a sellout. Like Deion, they call it Deion a sellout. Come back to help his own. You can't make this stuff up. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I hope sorry to make this video long, but I just want people when people really think about that, and the ones that, and black folks that call him a sellout, think about what I'm saying. What would you do if that was your family? That was your business. Alright then, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this video. Like, subscribe. Till next time, take care. And hey, support the man. Don't wish anything on him. He's trying. And he's going to teach other men to do the same thing from all walks of life. Because he's giving back in that way. To get back to that program. So, He did it. He did what he's supposed to do. You should be thankful and grateful. Till next time, you guys be blessed.